I found my wife's secret Reddit account, and now I'm scared to sleep in my own house. I know the title sounds dramatic. A week ago, I would have rolled my eyes at a post like this too. I'm not the kind of person who checks phones, follows people, or turns small things into big things. But what happened started with one sentence. Don't eat anything she cooks tonight. That was the message I saw on my laptop at 1:13 in the morning. My wife, Nana, and I have been married for 4 years. On the outside, we look like a normal couple. We work, pay bills, fight about stupid things, order food when neither of us wants to cook, and sleep on opposite sides of the bed like every other tired married couple. But this year had been different. Nina had become quiet. Not angry quiet. Not sad quiet. Just far away. She would sit next to me and still feel like she was in another room. She started waking up before me. She stopped leaving her phone on the table. She smiled a little too late when I entered a room, like she had to remind herself what expression to wear. I noticed all of it. But I told myself marriage has seasons. Then last Friday night, everything changed. My laptop battery had died, so I used Nina's old MacBook that we kept near the TV. It was still logged into her browser. I only needed to check an invoice, but when I opened it, the last tab restored automatically. It was Reddit. The account name was something random, Rainy Room 309. I almost closed it. I swear I almost did. But then I saw the title of her latest draft. My husband has no idea what I've been adding to his food. My stomach dropped so fast I actually felt cold. I clicked it. The post wasn't published. It was sitting there as a draft. And the first line said, "He trusts me because I smile while serving him dinner." I read that line maybe 10 times. My first thought was that it had to be fiction. Nina used to write stories in college. Maybe she had started again. Maybe this was some dramatic thriller thing. Maybe I was about to ruin my own peace by being stupid. Then I kept reading. He says the tea tastes different lately. I told him it's the new brand. He believed me. That was true. 2 weeks earlier, I had told her my evening tea tasted bitter. She laughed and said, "You're becoming too picky." I kept scrolling. He sleeps deeper now. Some nights he doesn't even wake up when I open the cupboard. My hands started shaking. There was more. He thinks I forgot about what happened in Jaipur. He thinks nobody knows. I stopped breathing. Jaipur. I had never told Nina the full truth about Jaipur. 3 years ago, I went there for a work conference. One night, after too much whiskey and too much loneliness, I kissed someone from my office. Her name was Mira. It didn't go further than that, but it was still betrayal. I knew that. I hated myself for it. The next morning I blocked Mira, flew home, and buried it. I never confessed. And Nina never mentioned Jaipur. Not once. But now, on that screen, in her private draft, she had written. He thought one kiss could disappear because he decided to forget it. My chest tightened. The post continued. I waited. I watched him lie with the same mouth he used to kiss her. Every morning he said good morning like nothing inside our marriage had cracked. I wanted to close the laptop. I wanted to pretend I had never seen it. But then I saw the final line. Tonight is not about killing him. Tonight is about making him tell the truth. I don't remember standing up, but suddenly I was in the kitchen. The house was dark except for the little yellow light above the stove. Dinner was still on the counter, covered with a steel plate. Nina had made dal, rice, and fried potatoes. My favorite. I stared at it like it was a dead animal. Behind me, Nina said, "You didn't eat." I jumped so hard I hit my hip on the counter. She was standing in the doorway, wearing her blue night suit, hair tied back, face calm. Too calm. I said, "I'm not hungry." She looked at the covered plate, then at me. You said you were starving. I changed my mind. She walked toward me slowly. Not like a villain. Not like someone hiding a knife. Just like my wife walking through her own kitchen. That somehow made it worse. She said, "Is something wrong?" I wanted to scream, "Yes, I found your account, I read everything, what have you been putting in my food?" Instead I said, "No." She smiled. Not a big smile. A small one. Tired. Almost disappointed. Then she said, "You're lying." I didn't answer. She came closer and removed the steel plate from the food. Steam rose up. It smelled normal. Warm, familiar, safe. That scared me more than if it had smelled strange. She picked up a spoon, took a bite of the dal herself, swallowed, and looked at me. "See," she said. "Not poisoned." I tried to laugh. Nothing came out. Then she said, "Unless you think I'm clever enough to poison only your side." I looked at her. She looked back. For a few seconds, the only sound was rain hitting the kitchen window. Then she whispered, "What did you read?" My blood went cold. I said, "What?" She said, "On the laptop." I took a step back. She sighed, like this whole situation was annoying but expected. "I left it open on purpose," she said. I couldn't speak. She continued, "I wanted to know how long it would take you to check. For years of marriage, and you still think silence means peace." I said, "What have you been adding to my food?" Her face changed then. Not guilt. Not fear. Hurt. She said, "Vitamins." I blinked. She opened the cupboard and pulled out a small bottle. Magnesium. Another bottle. Vitamin D. A sleep supplement. "You've been having panic attacks in your sleep," she said. "You grind your teeth. You wake up sweating and pretend you're fine. I asked you to see a doctor. You laughed." I looked at the bottles. She said, "I started adding supplements to your tea because I was tired of watching you destroy yourself slowly." I wanted to believe her. God, I wanted to. But then I remembered the line. Tonight is not about killing him. Tonight is about making him tell the truth. I said, "And Jaipur?" Nina went still. The rain outside got louder. She placed the bottles back inside the cupboard and closed it carefully. Finally, she said. That one word broke something inside me. I sat down at the dining table because my legs felt weak. Nina sat across from me. For the first time in months, she looked directly at me. She said, "Mira messaged me." I felt like someone had pushed ice into my lungs. When? I asked. 2 years ago. 2 years. For 2 years, she had known. She said she felt guilty. She sent screenshots. Hotel lobby pictures. Messages. Everything. I covered my face. Nina, She raised her hand. Don't insult me with the first apology that comes to your mouth. So I shut up. She said, "Do you know what hurt the most?" I thought she would say the kiss. She didn't. She said, "You came home and slept next to me peacefully." I looked down. She continued, "I kept waiting for you to break. To confess. To cry. To show me there was still a man inside you who knew he had done something wrong." My throat burned. "I was wrong," I said. "Yes," she said. "You were." I waited for her to shout. She didn't. That was worse. She said, "So I started writing." The Reddit posts? She nodded. At first they were just drafts. Things I wanted to say but couldn't. Then people started responding to one of them. They told me to leave. They told me to destroy you. They told me to forgive you. Strangers were more interested in my marriage than you were. I said, "Did you post about me?" Not with names. That doesn't make it better. No, she said. It doesn't. We sat there in silence. Then her phone buzzed. She looked at it, and for the first time that night, fear crossed her face. I noticed. Who is it? I asked. She turned the screen down. Naina. It's no one. Now it was my turn to say it. You're lying. Her eyes filled with tears. The phone buzzed again. This time I grabbed it before she could stop me. The message was from an unknown number. It said, "Did he read it yet?" I looked at Naina. She whispered, "Give me the phone." Another message came. "Tell him the Jaipur kiss wasn't the secret." My heart started pounding again. I said, "What does that mean?" Naina was crying now. "Please give me the phone." I stood up. The unknown number sent a photo. It was taken from outside our house. Through our kitchen window. In the picture, Naina and I were sitting at the table. The photo had been taken less than a minute ago. I turned toward the window. At first, I saw only rain. Then a figure moved near the gate. I ran to the front door, opened it, and stepped outside. The street was empty. No car. No person. Just rainwater rushing along the road. When I came back in, Naina was holding a knife. Not pointed at me. Pointed at herself. I froze. "Naina," I said carefully, "put it down." She shook her head. "You don't understand." "Then explain." She was trembling now. "The person messaging isn't Mira." "Then who?" She looked past me toward the hallway. "The woman from Jaipur wasn't just someone you kissed." I felt sick. "What are you talking about?" Naina whispered, "She's my sister." The room tilted. I remembered Mira's face. Her laugh. Her saying she didn't usually do things like this. Her looking sad when I left the next morning. I said, "You never told me you had a sister." "She ran away when I was 17, Naina said. My family stopped saying her name. I didn't even know where she was until she messaged me. I couldn't process it. Mira was Naina's sister. The woman I had kissed was my wife's sister. Naina said, she didn't message me because she felt guilty. She messaged me because she wanted me to know she could still take something from me. The phone buzzed again. I looked down. Another message. "Open the door, little sister." Then came a knock. 3 slow knocks. Naina dropped the knife. Neither of us moved. The knocking came again. Not from the front door. From inside the house. From the guest room. I turned slowly toward the hallway. The guest room door was closed. We never used that room. It had old suitcases, broken chairs, and boxes from when we moved in. Naina whispered, "No." I said, "Is someone in there?" She grabbed my arm. "Don't open it." Another knock. This time louder. Then a woman's voice from behind the door. Soft. Familiar. Smiling. "Hi, Ariv." My knees almost gave out. It was Mira. Naina was sobbing silently beside me. I walked toward the guest room like a man walking into his own funeral. My hand touched the doorknob. It was cold. From inside, Mira said, "Before you open the door, ask your wife what she did after she found out about us." I looked back at Naina. She was shaking her head. "What did you do?" I asked. Naina whispered, "I tried to scare her." Mira laughed from inside the room. "Scare me?" Naina cried, "I didn't know she would fall." I stepped away from the door. "What does that mean?" Mira said, "It means your sweet wife has been writing the wrong story." The handle turned from the inside. Naina screamed, "No." The door opened. But no one was there. Just darkness. And on the floor, placed neatly in the center of the room, was a red diary. I picked it up with shaking hands. The first page had only one sentence written on it. "If you're reading this, one of us is already dead." Behind me, Nina whispered, "I can explain." But before she could say anything else, the lights went out. And in the dark, someone touched my shoulder and whispered, "You married the wrong sister."